What's going on, everyone? After yesterday, Kevin Durant going to the Phoenix Suns is pretty much all but dead. It's not entirely impossible, but it just becomes very unlikely now that the Suns have matched DeAndre Ayton's contract. So now they can't trade him till January. Because they can't trade him till January, at that point, it's like, what's the point? Because if Kevin Durant is successful with Brooklyn, then why would Brooklyn trade Kevin Durant at that point? You might as well ride it out through the season into the off season. And then from the Phoenix Suns, like, if you're that bad and you're that desperate to go get Kevin Durant, it just becomes a problem again. Not just that, but DeAndre Ayton would have veto power for the rest of that year. So if he doesn't want to go to a team like Brooklyn, and maybe he only wants to go to the Pacers because he signed that sheet, then now there goes the contract. There goes everything. It's dead. The negotiations are completely dead. So the possibility of Kevin Durant going to the Phoenix Suns, I think, is pretty much dead. I don't think it's going to happen. But beyond that, it's like, where else could Kevin Durant go? Now, I think it's getting more and more likely that Kevin Durant is going to stay with the Brooklyn Nets, but who could possibly meet the demand for Kevin Durant from the Brooklyn Nets and still be a contender? And the only team that really comes to mind that would make sense for both sides that has been heavily reported, the Golden State Warriors. Send Kevin Durant back to the Golden State Warriors. Now, forget what the media says, forget what everyone says. If you're Kevin Durant, you only care about playing basketball and just living a peaceful life. And he had that in Golden State. You had the initial blowback. After that, nobody cared. It became irrelevant. People got used to it. People got accustomed to it. And it was just a normal thing. And he was winning championships. He was happy. Life was great. And then he had that little falling out with Draymond Green. And also the owner kind of threw that little subtle jab. It was kind of a joke, but it's like, is it really a joke type thing? And Kevin Durant felt slighted. And I understand that. But put all of that aside, Kevin Durant was a perfect fit for the Warriors. His just personality, his lifestyle, the way he plays ball, all of that stuff was a perfect fit for the Golden State Warriors. And now I do think other places could be beneficial, like the Pelicans, for example. But would he want to go to the Pelicans? Would he want to go to a team that, yeah, you have, Zion, but there's a lot of questions with him. CJ McCollum is like the ultimate number 2 guy, but could you and CJ, assuming Zion, because there's a lot of questions with him, could the two of them really be a contender in the West? I don't think so. If you get a Zion that's, that dominant force that we've seen before, then yeah, I think you're a real contender. But the Warriors make the most sense because the Warriors could put together an incredible package, arguably a better package than anybody else in the entire league. And there's no downtime. You get Kevin Durant, there's no figuring out period like most teams, like when they acquire a superstar, right? You got to kind of figure it out. You got to kind of piece together. No, it would be just so natural. It'd be like, nothing, like he never left. It would be perfect. And they'd still be able to maintain some of that depth, some of those young guys. They wouldn't have to give up everybody. But, you put together a solid package, several firsts. Maybe you give up Jordan Poole and you give up like a Kuminga, or if you can keep Kuminga. But I imagine that Kuminga would probably be the number 1 piece that they would want. And then Jordan Poole would probably be second because of all that Kuminga offers. But you put a nice little package together. You try to keep Wiseman because you need that center and his potential and stuff like that because you would still be small. I know a lot of people, they want to keep Jordan Poole, but Andrew Wiggins, especially if you go get Kevin Durant, Andrew Wiggins provides so much more that Jordan Poole doesn't. Jordan Poole is, at this point in his career, very one-dimensional. We saw he makes a lot of boneheaded mistakes. He's turnover prone. And when he's not hitting his shot, he's not very effective. He's not good defensively. He's not a factor unless he's that I'm on fire and I'm scoring 30 points a game. When he's that guy, he's great. But with Kevin Durant, you get that consistency. You get that guy that night in and night out, even if he's not hitting his shots and he's having an off night, he still can be effective. He can rebound, he can defend, he can assist, he can do all. He fits in the Warriors system beautifully. And Kevin Durant would make a lot of sense to go back to the Warriors, and then, it would suck to lose Kuminga because I think he has a lot of potential. He's a big, solid wing that is huge on this, especially in today's NBA. But in reality, you're getting Kevin Durant. You're going to win another several championships. You're going to elevate Seth Curry. Kevin Durant returning is not going to change Seth Curry's legacy in any way if they win, because Seth won before and he won after. So you have that cemented. It's just about building up him and then adding to the treasure trove that Kevin Durant already has. And it's just, it would be a mutually beneficial thing for both sides. Kevin Durant finally gets to go to the place where he was most happy, most comfortable, everything. You get a team that understands Kevin Durant and was successful with him. So you have proof in the pudding. You give up, two young guys that are very good for the Warriors, but you still have a lot. You still have Moses Moody. You still have, Wiseman. You still have a lot of your depth and pieces that are very important for now and the future. And you're likely winning another championship or two at least. And you got Kevin Durant for 4 years. I mean, I just think it would be super beneficial for both sides. And beyond that, there have been countless reports that all of the stars of the Warriors have reached out to Kevin Durant to try to get him to come back. And Seth Curry is apparently, Steph Curry, Stephen Curry is reaching out to Kevin Durant and saying, hey, why don't you come back? I'd love to have you back. Like all that stuff. So, even the Warriors are interested in that. Even the star players are interested in that. And I really believe Kevin Durant never should have left the Warriors. I think that was the perfect fit for the type of guy and player that he is. And I think, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And I do think Kevin Durant would really look at this. And based on reports, he's considered it. It's something that he's not completely against. And it's something that, it seems to have legs. Everybody that's anybody has reported that this has legs, that this is serious. That, the superstars for the Warriors have all reached out for him and said, why don't you come back? We can make it work again. Let bygones be bygones. Let's start fresh. To win some more championships. Come over here. And I think the Golden State Warriors would do it in a heartbeat. Now, obviously, they don't want to sell the entire, house and the kitchen sink for Kevin Durant. But I still think that they could put together a really solid package to acquire Kevin Durant. I think they could put together a package better than anybody, personally, with all their young talent and things like that. You could give up 2 or 3 of those guys, and you still have a bunch of solid young guys. I just think it would be a huge benefit for the Golden State Warriors. And so to have a package, like I said, you have, even if you have to throw in Wiseman or something like that, you do it. I just think if you get Kevin Durant, you're going to win. The Warriors were literally unbeatable. It took the entire team getting hurt. Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Steph, it took literally everybody getting hurt for the Toronto Raptors to beat them. And otherwise, they were winning again, and they just walked to the finals every year and won championships, and that's likely what's going to happen again. And I know a lot of people, they don't want it, they don't want to see it, like we saw what happened before, and there's no parity in the league and stuff like that. But it was good for the NBA. It was a conversation starter. They made a ton of money. They were must-see TV. They were winning a bunch of championships. Not just that, but I think the NBA is a lot more like the shape of the NBA, especially in the Eastern Conference and some of the teams in the Western Conference. I think it would be a much harder road for the Warriors than it is now, even though it kind of looked like the Warriors kind of just walked to the finals this year. But they did have those flaws. You saw the leaks in the ship. They're a team that, yes, they won the championship, and they're great. I'm not trying to take anything away from them. But they weren't unbeatable. You go get Kevin Durant, you're likely unbeatable once again. And I just think it would be mutually beneficial for everybody. There's a lot of questions with Klay. Steph is only getting older. Draymond's only getting older. KD is only getting older. So they all kind of just help each other to last and have longevity in this league beyond already, And now Steph doesn't have to put up 30 points a game for the Warriors to win. And here's the last little kind of point, and then I'll pass the question to you, is that, at some point, the Warriors are going to have to make decisions because they can't keep Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins. So you have to get rid of one of them. And so you might as well get Kevin Durant and as their substitute. And I just think Andrew Wiggins does so much more for this team than Jordan Poole does. And that is in and of itself, especially if you get Kevin Durant. So the young guys, as much as, the Warriors and the rest of the league are just enamored with the young guys, they have to be paid eventually. And what are you going to do? You're going to pay $1 billion a year in luxury tax and stuff? I just don't think it's going to happen. So at some point, and I'm not saying it has to be this year, but very soon, they're going to have to start making decisions on a lot of these guys. They're going to have to start extending Kuminga and Poole and Wiseman and Wiggins and all of these guys, Moody. Like, at some point, you can't max all these guys out and keep Steph and keep Clay and keep Draymond. So you got to start moving some of these. And what better piece is there than Kevin Durant when you already know you guaranteed to win championships because you already won championships? Well, I shouldn't say guaranteed because nothing's guaranteed, but all but guaranteed to win championships. But again, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think of this? Do you think, yes, makes perfect sense, go back to the Warriors? It was the place you were most happy. It was the place you were winning at. It was the place you were most comfortable. It suits you best. The Warriors are open to having you back. Or do you think, no, like, don't go there. It makes no sense. You're just running back to Daddy Steph again, or whatever, all the comments and stuff that you see on the internet about KD. I just don't think KD really cares that much. I mean, he's a sensitive guy for sure. But I just think, like, he already, like, the backlash for him going back to the Warriors will not be as heavy as it was the first time. There will definitely be backlash in the beginning, but again, it will not be that bad, and it'll end really quickly. So I just think it makes a lot of sense for both sides. But again, love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. One last little shameless plug is I did start As It Stands Lakers. It is a channel just like this, dedicated to only the Lakers, because the Lakers are my favorite team. And on this channel, As It Stands, I talk about all teams, all sports, stuff like that. We have football season coming up, so I'm definitely looking forward to that as well. And I just wanted to make a dedicated channel to the Lakers to give the ins and outs. Now, all the big stuff, all the big news and stuff, I will still post here on this channel. But if you want all the ins and outs and just rumors and theories and just discussions just strictly on the Lakers, link down in the description or in the comment section. Go check out the channel, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot, lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.